back. Today we're going to be replacing the bearings in the front wheels. They can be called the caster wheels. I don't know if that's the official name of them though. So what you'll need is the right tools, whichever screw or something that holds in your front wheels. You'll want to figure that out. Mine is these Allen keys, and I don't really know which one, so I figured that out when I tested out. And I use Red's skateboard bearings because they're pretty good. I used to skate, and so we'll just get into it. Sitting in another seat, right, because you'll be working on the chair on the front wheels. I tip it back, and just in some way where you're able to comfortably get to the wheel. And I find that something along these lines here is pretty good. It's right in front of my face, and you'll want to be able to reach both sides of it. So if that means having it face you like this, then that's fine as well. But for the demonstration, we'll be doing it sideways. And once we figure out which one it is, let's see. First try. You actually need two. So we're going to pause. Alright, so I found the other tool and it took a little bit, so that's why we did a cut, and then there's tools all over. I had to dump out the tool bag. I'm assuming this is pretty standard for wheelchairs, but you might need two to hold it on either side. And so then what you do is you hold one and spin the other. It might be difficult at first, but the idea is that it gets loose as you go. This is also a really good thing to do if you live with females or you have long hair, because hair gets really wound up and caught in here. And another thing to do is not lose these pieces. So having a good spot to put them all is really nice. For me, that's the ground right in front of my feet. And so one of the screws popped off. I no longer need the tools anymore. And I might need the tools. The next thing to do is pull this piece out. And there we go. So what this does is this goes through, and then the other one screws into the other side, holding the wheel in. Toss that down as well. Might not be a good idea to do this on carpet because they're oily and greasy, so it could stain, but we have stain remover. Next thing to do is carefully remove the wheel. Mine has spacers on either side, so making sure those don't fall and go somewhere. And I'm actually just going to use this plastic bag here to set everything down on, just so I don't screw up the carpet. So you can see it's disgusting and full of hair, and the wheel bearing essentially just fell apart. So I'm just going to set those down. We'll clean those and take care of them later. Same thing with the other wheel bearing. That's disgusting, by the way. And now we're here with the wheel bearings, and we're just going to try to get these out. A good way to do it would be to use one of the Allen keys here. I really hope that's what it's called. And kind of put it in at an angle and use it to yank out the bearing, or you can go the other way and push out the bearing. That's actually a lot easier. So push out from the other side, and what we find is this dirty boy, which keeps the bearings spaced apart. This holds the bearings. This guy, which actually does space apart the bearings from within, and then the other bearing. So there's that. If we so please, we could also just run this in the dishwasher or in the sink to clean it off. I don't so please. So we're just going to get right up into the bearing swap, and let's see. So the first thing I'm doing is this is what holds the bearings in the wheels, so I'm just making sure that these are in here, and you can maybe see there's some little spikes in there, so That's what holds the bearing from going in and out of this middle part of the wheel. And then, with my dirty hands, I will grab the new bearings and try not to get them dirty. Put that on my leg there. Oh, look at that, it's so beautiful. So, you want the shield on the outside and the more exposed part on the inside. Shove that one in there. And now when I flip to the other side, I'm going to put the spacer back in, because otherwise it won't be in there if I put both bearings on. So, putting the spacer in. Beautiful. And then I put the next bearing in. Shove that in. And there we are. I'm sure this is going to be so much better. The next part, this is the part that can get really tricky, is putting the wheel back on, because it fits in here very tight. It's a very tight fit, as it should be. And so here you can see the wheel is loose. And that's why we have these little spacers on either side. So what you have to do is somehow, and I'll show you how, get these spacers on and then plug it up, or lock it in. So I'm going to set the wheel down for now and grab these spacers. This is the time to clean them off. There's a lot of hair. This is really disgusting. So gross. This is traveling all around Europe and everything with these. And so here's one spacer. Got that. And the other spacer, here it is, caught in the hair as the other one was. I'm just pulling these out, whichever way you want to do that. That's your prerogative. And so here we are. One thing is to have on the ready this guy that's going to go through and hold the wheel in. Because once you get the wheel on, you want to put this thing in as soon as possible. That way the wheel will stay on. So, let's see. Try not to get my pants dirty. Put it in, and it's pretty easy to get one. It's pretty easy to get one. And what I'll show you here is my method. Is I put the wheel in, I get one bearing in there, right? But it's pretty hard to hold up. So what I'll do is I'll wiggle this in a little bit. And then however you can make it stay, or if you have to hold it. And then I'll put on this spacer. The wheel, because there's only one spacer, the wheel should fit in here. There we go. And now, with the one spacer on, I push this through the wheel. And you can see it'll go all the way through. Of course I don't want it to go all the way through yet. So I put it right at the edge there, so this way it's still holding the wheel. And now I take this spacer and I kind of just have to shove it in. It might be easy, it might be hard. I guess for me it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit more loose. So I'm lining it up and boom, there we are. So you can kind of see right here, it's peeking through. And here I grab the end piece, screw it back on. And once that's tight, I will grab the two keys that we had before. That's the wrong one. I lost one. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. It's in my lap. Alright, so got the two keys and tighten. And of course you want this to be a little bit more tight than you think it should be, because that's about how tight it should be. There we go, that's probably good. And there it is. That is super smooth, and we can compare it to the other one, which I have not changed. That one slowed down. To be fair, I did push this one a little bit sooner, so we'll do this one first, just to give this one a little bit of help. And that's good. If you don't do this for a long time, the bearings can get really bad. because these front wheels are the first thing that's going to go bad when you're going through puddles, when you're in the rain, in the snow, the salt that's within the snow if you're in some slush in the city. These bearings up here for the big wheels, they're going to be fine for a long time. They're not really in it. These are right in it. And so then I'm going to change the other one off camera, and I'll be faster. Thanks for watching.